Welcome back, Sour Chicken Fam 6-7 in the building. These true scary stories with footage. Let's see how scary they really are. Please don't fucking start immediately like this, bro.
This happened last October, close to Halloween. My parents and brother were making the trip from Florida to Tennessee to help my grandmother move into our house, and they wouldn't be back for a few days. Naturally, I thought it would be nice to have the house to myself for a couple days instead of traveling for hours in a car. On the second night of enjoying the alone time in my house, my heart dropped when I heard almost what sounded like a hand slap against my bedroom window. My house is one story in a rural area.
Fucker.
After ruling out any animals or natural ways this could have happened, I decided to take a look for myself. So I moved the blinds to see if I could get a look at anyone running, hoping it was just a prank. I was almost annoyed to see no one, but what happened next made the situation go from confusing to frightening. When I started to hear the doorknob to the door being forcefully shaken and twisted, causing almost a bang at the door. And because of this, my dog started barking loudly, increasing my adrenaline in the situation.
If you live, doesn't matter where the fuck you live, who has a door to the outside with that big fucking glasses, bro? Like for real now. I would be so scared. I mean, you just gotta flinch again, and not flinch. You just gotta pew against that thin glass. It's gonna break.
Thinking it could still just possibly be a prank by one of my few friends that knew I was alone, I began recording
That's
a
some
video on
fucked up
Snapchat
shit.
to send to my friends so that I could maybe confirm it was one of them. The first video starts with me standing a few feet back from the door to see if I could record it being moved again, and eventually I try to record outside the glass doors. The video ends when I'm terrified to hear behind me that my screened-in patio back door was just forced open.
Oh good lord. Oh good lord.
Before I could even turn around, my phone drops to the floor. I send the first video to my three friends. Whoever
No, I
was
believe
behind
this
my
one.
house still couldn't get inside.
I believe
but
this
it was
one because when he tried to open the curtains or whatever he hang there, you can see it was shaking.
out, knowing they weren't afraid to try. I wait a few minutes, and two of my friends
You
send snaps
see?
from their homes, claiming
You see
they're
how he
innocent
was
and asking
shaking
to
when
keep them updated.
this one is
Still
real,
a little
bro.
freaked out, I realized my last friend Logan had opened the snap but didn't respond, which ironically would be the one person out of my group to try something like this. Feeling more confident it was Logan, I decided to start a new video with flash on and tried to take a look from the backyard if there was anyone in the open grass yard.
You see how he's shaking? You can't fake an adrenaline pump, bro. You can't fake it. That shit is real.
After making sure the front door was locked, I walked out hoping Logan would pop out to try and scare me. I checked behind some bushes and scrap wood on the side of my house, but instead I was greeted with just darkness and quiet. Only after 15 seconds of walking outside, I was immediately uncomfortable with the situation I was putting myself in.
No shit.
My fears got the better of me, and I decided to just go back inside. I stopped the video and returned to my living room. Logan finally responds to my snap, causing my breathing to halt when I see a picture of him in bed with his girlfriend saying, "What the fuck, bro? Call the cops." I immediately call 911 and make sure no windows or doors could be unlocked. I was advised to keep all doors locked and to call back if I hear any more forceful entry noises. It was only days later that I would re-watch the saved videos to find a creepy black figure watching me behind my tool shed while I searched behind the scrap wood and bushes, almost looking like they were deciding to attack me or not.
Oh, good lord.
Seeing it for the first time, I could not want to throw up in fear. Nothing has happened since, but I still wonder how someone knew I was alone that day, and what could have happened had I made eye contact with the figure.
You see how much in that house has glass, bro? And it's like fucking thin glass, bro.
Watching from the corner of that shed.
By Paolo. 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 Paolo.
17-year-old boy living in
Paolo.
a small
Paolo.
neighborhood in the Midwest of the United States. The neighborhood I live in is a tight-knit community, one where everyone knows each other and is usually friendly towards one another. My street
Fuck
is a
all of that
small
shit.
cul-de-sac with 3 houses on each side and one at the end. The cul-de-sac itself rests on a small hill. At the bottom is a lake surrounded by forest and other houses. It's not a very dense forest, but it's far away from any densely populated city, and it gets very quiet at night, with the exception of some dogs barking, a late-night driver, and on rare occurrences, you can hear a coyote in the distance. One night at around 2 a.m., both my mother and older brother, whom I live with, were off in their respective rooms, either sleeping or just keeping to themselves. I too was about to go to sleep, and at the time was just resting and watching a YouTube video in bed. A few videos in, I heard a strange sound coming from across
Why the
room.
fuck do you gotta
It was
blend
a
in
sort
that
of
fucking
soft
flashing
thud,
shit,
as if
man? That
someone
shit
had
is
lightly
fucking
tapped the
annoying
wall
my
across
eyes.
from my bed. I wasn't alarmed when I first heard it, figuring it was my cat Spot coming to sleep at the foot of my bed.
Fuck the
I got
cat.
up to see what he was doing, but he was nowhere to be found. In fact, there was nothing in my room that was out of place or that could even make such a noise. However, I didn't hear the noise again, so I went back to YouTube, and after a while, completely forgot that it even happened. That was until I heard another noise. But unfortunately for me, this noise was not a quiet thud or tapping sound. It was much more unsettling. Coming from outside, in the direction of the lake, I heard loud screeching sounds. I thought it might have been some kind of animal, but it sounded eerily similar to a child crying, or maybe even screaming. I opened my window to get a better listen to what I was hearing, and took a recording to show my friend. By this point, I was starting to get a bit freaked out, so I went to my brother's room to see if he heard it too. I was hoping that maybe it was all in my head, and that I was just tired. But no, he heard it too. The friend I sent the recording to agreed it was creepy, and sounded like either an animal in pain or a crying kid. The more I thought about it, the creepier it became. It was an animal in pain.
Oh
I've
my
never
god,
heard
I
sounds
thought I
remotely
saw
similar to this in the
something,
many
bro.
years I've lived in this house.
Lock in. That's the wind. That's not whistling, that's the wind.
It didn't sound even remotely similar to a fox, coyote, or any animals I know about. And this forest
The
isn't
wind
big enough for an
whistles
animal
also.
much bigger than that. And if it was a child, why was it alone?
They live in a forest, and the way the wind breaks through the forest and through the trees and everything, it can come to a whistling sound. I've encountered it myself, but who knows, maybe something was following me, I don't fucking know.
Thud that I heard from earlier that night. Was that somehow connected, or is it simply a coincidence that I heard 2 creepy sounds in the matter of minutes? I haven't heard any kind of noises like that since, and by that I am glad. But to this day, it still creeps me out that none of us could truly figure out what could have created those sounds.
The wind, bro. The fuck? Peter Carpenter.
I live in an apartment in a 2-family house. I'm on the lower level. The owner of the house, Rob, lives upstairs sometimes, but he has multiple houses, so he's not really here that often. Rob and I are pretty much friends by this point, so he tells me when he's going to be gone for extended periods of time. During the time of this story, Rob had told me he'd be gone for 2 weeks out of state. He told me this so that I would know that I could put both my cars in the driveway. I spend a lot of my nights in the living room reading. My level of the house has access to the back door on the deck outside, so you can probably guess where this story's going. I was reading my book on the couch in the living room by the lamp. Complete silence in the room, aside from the night crickets outside. Just the way I liked it. When bang. There was quite literally a bang on the glass of the sliding back door. I obviously jumped out of my skin. That door led to the backyard.
You son of a
Nobody should ever be
bitch.
back there knocking on it. I wondered if maybe Rob had returned early, but that didn't seem likely. It was just one distinct bang, though. It could have been a fox or possum running into it by accident. Still, I got up to go check it out. I moved the sliding blind out of the way of the door and turned on the deck light. The deck was clear though, as I thought it would be. I live in the calmest town ever anyway. Break-ins are never heard of here. I closed the blind on the door again though, just because I do get a little uncomfortable with...
Boys and girls, ladies and gents, stop fucking going after that. Well, there's barely any burglaries in my area. There's barely any crime in my area. Motherfucker, that doesn't mean that ain't gonna happen to you. Fuck, man. Stop being so stupid.
In the back of my head that someone's outside in the dark just watching me. I think that's a pretty normal feeling. A while passed because I finished a whole nother chapter in my book when it happened again. This time though, it wasn't just a singular bang. It was a bunch of deliberate knocks or bangs on the glass. It had to be a person. It went on for a bit. So I turned off the lamp, and this is where I picked up my phone and started recording.
Stell dir vor, du erstellst eine komplett maßgeschneiderte App, einfach indem du daran denkst. Das ist Baseball.
Bitch. Yeah, look at my fucking god, bro. You son of a bitch, bro.
As I opened the blind and flicked on the light to the deck, the noises stopped, and there wasn't a single person in sight, not even an animal. I looked over the edge of the deck to see if maybe someone jumped over the railing. Nope, nothing. I didn't stay outside for long. I couldn't lock that door quick enough when I went back inside. By this point, I just went to my bedroom and shut the door and laid in my bed. I didn't know what the hell I had just witnessed outside. How there could be knocks at the door.
Like, we're right now. If you encounter something like that, could you go to sleep? Let me know in the comments. Could you, after this situation, fall into your bed and be like, it was nothing. I'm going to sleep now. Who the fuck does that, bro?
Second.
I would be like a crack addict waiting to get my next bump, or like a cocaine addict waiting to get my next bump, bro. No, fuck that.
And nobody there the next second. I was calling it a night. I wasn't planning on leaving my room again after that. I browsed Instagram and YouTube for a while on my phone, then turned it off and tried to go to sleep. Silence for the longest time. And then right at the foot of my bed, there was a noise. The sound of someone exhaling.
Oh,
I screamed and dove for the light switch.
hell no!
And when the light turned on, my room was empty. I stood paralyzed, breathing heavily for a moment, trying to comprehend what just happened. I searched under the bed and the closet, but there wasn't a soul in my room. I knew what I heard though. It wasn't in my head, just like the door wasn't in my head. I slept in the living room after that, though I didn't feel much safer in there, fearing I'd hear bangs at the back door again.
So you're going from a small compound in your room, yeah? Well, not a compound, sorry for that word. You go from a small room to a bigger room with more options to being attacked by. You deserved whatever happens to you. You deserve
A
it.
relatively sleepless night for me. Rob told me he's never experienced anything like this, and he couldn't think of anyone who might have wanted to target him for anything. I never had believed in anything paranormal until that night. I haven't had any experiences that intense ever since, though.
Let me know in the comments, which story do you guys think was the real one? 1, 2, or 3? I think 1 was the real one. 3 sounds good. 2 maybe. Maybe all of them. Who knows? Like and subscribe. We will see each other in the next video. 6, 7 deuces.